Do you want an exciting new job as a blockchain developer? Because in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can get the chance to work directly with me, Gregory, the founder of Dapp University, 100% remotely with flexible working hours on a really exciting opportunity. I'm going to break down everything in this video, exactly what I'm looking for, how you can apply, and what to do to get started like right now as soon as you get finished watching this video. So in case you clicked on this video, you probably know who I am already. But if you are new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. And if you haven't done it already, make sure you like that video down below and subscribe to this channel if you want to become a blockchain master. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's talk about this open role at Dapp University that I'm hiring for. So a little bit of background on me and what I do at Dapp University in case you aren't familiar. So I started Dapp University back in 2017 to be the best place online for people to learn how to become blockchain developers. And that's exactly what we've done ever since and maintained that position to this day. We've seen the rise of crypto and Web 3.0 basically from scratch and are super plugged into the industry and where it's headed next. And so that's what you'd be joining. A team who's been in this space for a very long time with a primary mission of training up the next generation of blockchain developers to help fill the skills gap in the Web 3.0 industry. And one of the primary ways we do that is with our remote coding boot camps. And that's exactly what I'm hiring for, is a full-time remote blockchain instructor to help me teach these live coding boot camps. And so now what I'm going to do is go through this application page here, give you an in-depth overview of the role and exactly what I'm looking for, and show you how you can apply, okay? So I'll put a link to this page right here that you're seeing down in the description below. If you want to just stop this video and start applying now, you can click on that and click this link right here, okay? But I highly recommend, listening to everything I'm saying first so that you can understand all the instructions. You have to be able to follow instructions to do this role and make sure that you meet all the criteria and apply properly. All right, so a quick overview of the job description. This is a full-time position. It is a 100% remote position for a blockchain development instructor. So the whole point here is that you're going to be working directly with me, the founder of Dapp University, to conduct live training sessions. Okay, we're actually going to be teaching other people and supporting these students inside our remote blockchain coding boot camps. So in order to do this job well, of course, you need to be a blockchain developer, but you also must be great at teaching others technical concepts and being able to, lead people and instruct them inside of a live training session, multiple people at the same time. You need to be self-motivated, willing to learn new technologies, and eager to solve problems. In addition to really just being passionate about helping other people learn new things. So if that sounds like you, then, already a good fit. All right, so in terms of your responsibilities, it's pretty straightforward, okay? Your main absolute must-have responsibilities are that you conduct online group training sessions via Zoom. Sometimes you'll do those with me, okay? And sometimes you'll do them all by yourself. So you need to be able to, teach a group of students completely independently if you have to. And then when you're not teaching people, directly in a group setting online, you need to be able to support people with coding questions over a chat service like Slack, for example. And so the two big things, being able to teach live classes and then support people individually over Slack. All right, so let's talk about the requirements. So one of the main requirements is your availability. Okay, we do our live training sessions on very specific times. These time slots are not negotiable and you must be available for all of them. So it's basically going to be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, all right? And then there's different time slots on each of those days. Tuesdays from noon Central Time to 3 p.m. Central Time. And then there's a big gap. And in the evenings from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time. And just note that some of these time slots are in the evening after normal working hours in the U.S. time zone. And it's a non-negotiable that you must be available for these sessions. So you can read that out in the sheet just for clarification here. But it's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from noon to 3. A big gap, and then 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So the good news is that's just 3 days a week, okay? Now, this is a full-time position, but the rest of your hours outside these time slots are pretty negotiable. And we can definitely talk about that, once we get into the interview process and set your expectations once you get onboarded. All right, so now let's talk about the technical requirements, okay? So what I'm really looking for here is somebody who is a blockchain developer with an intermediate knowledge, at least, of all these technologies, okay? You're probably not going to work for you to be a total beginner for this particular role because at the end of the day, you're teaching other people. So you need to have some skills that are sufficiently beyond the type of students that you're teaching, okay? But you don't necessarily have to be a top tier expert, okay? I'm going to be a part of this too. So you'll still be able to rely on my knowledge, but you must have at least an intermediate level of knowledge in Ethereum, okay? And how to create Solidity smart contracts, also all of these things. JavaScript, all right? Ethers.js, all right, the library that we're going to use to talk to the blockchain in JavaScript, the hard hat smart contract development framework, obviously how to use MetaMask, React.js for creating user interfaces, Redux. Okay, again, you could probably get away with learning Redux on the job, but at least it's familiar with how it works. Node.js, and then also Git and GitHub, as well as command line, which I didn't list on here, but that's kind of obvious. All right, so additionally, the ideal candidate will have professional coding experience. Okay. Now, again, this is not necessarily a hard requirement if you are good. Okay. If you have the skills and you can prove that you have the skills and you're able to teach other people, it's not a 100% requirement, but it most likely is. And so if you're going to apply and you don't have this, then you really want to knock it out of the park and prove that you have the skills to do what it takes to do this role. I really like giving people their start. And so, if you're able to really impress me with what you can do, then I'm open to doing that. So ideally, you will have completed some of the trainings we already do at Dapp University, like the Blockchain Bootcamp program, or maybe some of our master classes that you're already familiar with our teaching style and the types of technologies that we teach and really what we're all about. Also, the ideal candidate will be excellent at facilitating group instruction via Zoom. That's what I was talking about. You need to be able to lead other people and teach them in a live setting, multiple people at the same time. Excellent at assisting students one-on-one via Slack with their coding questions. All right. You must be very punctual and consistent with live training slots. Okay, again, those times that I mentioned before are really non-negotiable, and you need to show up for all of them on time, preferably early. You must be able to follow very specific instructions. So I'll give you a hint. If you do something wrong in the application that I'm about to show you in a minute, that's probably going to put you down at the bottom of the list. Additionally, you must have strong attention to detail, be able to meet deadlines. You must be able to work independently. Quick to learn new things, because we're always adapting and changing to what's happening in the blockchain space, and you don't want to just turn your brain off and think you know everything. There's always more to learn, and you need to be able to adapt and change just like I do as this space grows. So you must also have strong communication skills, because ultimately you're going to be talking to other people, and you must have native fluency in the English language, both spoken and written. All right, so now let's talk about some bonus points. Okay, so these particular aspects are not required, but if you can do these things, then you're going to accelerate your chances way to the top of the queue here, assuming that you also meet the other requirements. So a really ideal person will be able to assist in actually designing coding curriculum. So let's say you wanted to teach somebody how to do a new blockchain concept. Well, you'd be able to come up with a way to teach somebody how to do that. Let's say it's to create a NFT that does royalties or something. You can think about what the technical concept is and say, what does someone need to know? And then sequence that information into a presentation that shows them how to make one from scratch, okay? And then on top of that, bonus points if you can do a screencast recording of that teaches somebody how to do that exact thing, just like I do on this channel and inside my training programs. So again, these are not required, but if you can do these things in addition to everything else, you're going to come way to the top of the list. All right, so that's really an overview of the requirements. All right, so make sure you rewatch this video so that you understand exactly what you need to have here. And then let's talk about some job perks. Again, it's a 100% remote position. You don't ever have to come into an office. You got flexible working hours outside of those required time slots that I mentioned previously. Definitely check those out if you haven't already. You're going to get to work directly with me, okay? You're not going to report to somebody else. You're going to have a direct line of communication with me. We'll talk to each other. I'll help you figure out anything that you need to do, set you up for success. And just a side note here, everybody who works for me is really happy with their position. Dapp University is a great place to work. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do and meeting expectations, then I'm pretty easy to work for. And again, this is a full-time position that will be paid based on an hourly basis. Basically, you'll have an hourly rate, and that'll come out to a full-time monthly salary, basically. All right, so now that you have an overview of exactly what's entailed here, let's talk about how to apply. So there's two links in the application, one at the top, one at the bottom. You can just click through to here, to this application form. I'll just go over with you briefly, all right, so that you understand how to complete this. So you should see this page, Dapp University Blockchain Development Instructor Application. You, of course, need a name, say foo, bar. I filled this out previously as a test, so say foobar123 at gmail.com. Obviously, you want to use your real email here. Don't use a junk email, because this is how we'll communicate. What time zone are you in? I'll say Central. Okay. Let's see, what country do you live in? So I'll just say US. Let's see, what city or town do you live in? So again, let's just say, you're in London, England or something, or just say, Austin, Texas. All right. This is all pretty self-explanatory, but here's where, you must understand. These are the time slots that I mentioned before. You must be available for all these. So really, If you're not available for these, there's not a whole lot of point in continuing on with the application process. So anyways, you must click yes in order to really continue to apply. Years of professional coding experience. This does not need to be in blockchain or Web 3.0. This is just how long have you worked as a developer in some capacity? Okay. If you have none, just select less than 1 year. Again, ideally, someone will have some experience. Again, I'm open to hiring someone who does not have professional experience as long as they can wow me with their skill level, because you have to be able to teach other people. All right. So I'm just going to select something bigger than this. I'm just going to say 10 years. All right. Years of professional blockchain experience. So again, the other questions about general coding experience, and if you've only been working in blockchain, these numbers should be the exact same number. But you may have been a developer before, like I was, before you got into blockchain. So you could just say years of blockchain experience. You could say 6 or however long it is. Resume, you're going to want to add some sort of resume here so I can see your past work history. All right, then your motivation for applying for this role. Basically, you just want to give me an elevator pitch on why you're a good candidate for this position. Okay, so I'll let you get creative on how to do that. All right. So please list all Dapp University projects you've done in the past. So basically, if you've done any of the blockchain bootcamp curriculum before, or you've done any of the master classes, just list those. I'm going to say bootcamp 2.0, trading bot masterclass. You can just fill out all that apply. All right. So portfolio links. So, please show some links of something you've worked on in the past. This could be a portfolio website that you've created to market yourself that has your projects on it. Or, it's just like if you've worked on a user-facing application, you can just put a link to that and explain exactly what you did. So let's say google.com. I was the front-end developer or something like that. All right. But if you have a portfolio website, that's the best thing to use here. And I would list as many things as possible just so I can see. So here's a content sample. This is optional. So again, at the end of the day, it'd be great if you had the ability to create, educational curriculum and teach people through a screencast, although it's not required. Okay, so you can leave this blank if you don't have it, but if you do have it, it's going to be a huge bonus, assuming that you satisfy all the other criteria. And it's going to put you up at the front of the list. Okay, so basically, this could be, a sample of you teaching how to create something from scratch, like an NFT with royalties, for example. That's just one example that I mentioned before. And what you want to do here in this section is you want to provide a video link to that. So it could be a Dropbox link, it could be a YouTube link. It doesn't really matter. YouTube.com, my video. All right. And then finally, an introduction video. This is also optional, but this would just give me an impression of what it's like to talk to you, what your communication skills are like. Again, this position will be interfacing with other people in live training sessions, so it's important that you have good communication skills, that you can teach other people, that you can, handle a crowd, so to speak. And this will help me, determine a little bit of that just in this introduction video. So you can really recap your motivation. There's a section before that's like, hey, why would you be a good fit for this position? You can just recap that on camera here. Okay, just talk like you're talking normal. This can be a smartphone video. You don't have to have a fancy camera set up like I do. But you just want to put a link to this, whether it's a Dropbox video or a YouTube video in this box here. All right. And then that's pretty much it. And once you've applied, I'll take a look at everything and we'll be in touch from there. So let's talk about timelines. I am looking to fill this position pretty soon. Okay, so there's no official deadline in the application, but the sooner you get these materials together and submitted, the better. Now, you don't want to rush. Like, let's say that you have the ability to polish up a content sample and send it to me. It's going to be more important that you have that than not have it. So you don't want to just submit the application with the bare minimum requirements just to get in. You want to make your application look as good as possible. So if it takes you an extra day to do that, it's well worth the time spent to make your application look as good as possible. Okay. So again, it's not like there's a hard deadline on this, but I will be hiring soon. All right. So you don't want to wait around. Definitely want to take action immediately if you're interested in this position, but you also want to make sure that your application looks as good as possible. All right. So that's an overview of the remote blockchain coding instructor that I am hiring to work directly with me at Dapp University. That's an overview of what we're looking for and how you can apply today. So I hope you like this video. And as always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Again, we're going to be looking to fill this position pretty soon. So make sure you click the link down below with the link to this if you are interested and want to get started ASAP. It's a super exciting role, and I look forward to hearing from all of you very soon. So until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.